The future of new homes in Spokane might shock you. So talking about new construction on this channel is no rare thing. We talk about the lack of new construction in the Spokane area and how difficult it is to build new homes here because of strict zoning laws that we are facing for a long time, limited resources because it's too expensive to build, not enough builders in our area to create any competition. Well, that is all changing. There's going to be some significant challenges in certain areas of Spokane to build new homes, but new laws that are allowing not your typical home to be built. So we're going to discuss all these options, what you should be looking out for, what options are going to be available to you as a home buyer here in the near future. And if you're somebody looking for the best investment opportunity here in Spokane, I think we found the one. So let's dig into it. If you're new to the channel, my name is Haydn Halsted, your local real estate resource here in Spokane, Washington. I've lived here my entire life. On this channel, we talk about everything real estate, lifestyle, and if you should make the move to Spokane or if you should make the move out of Spokane. We help people buy, sell, and invest in real estate every single day. If you check one of those three boxes, I'd love to help you. You can use any of the links down below in the description to reach out to me, call, text, email anytime. Now let's get right into this information. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the ongoing battle in the Latah Valley. So the Latah Valley is south of I-90 on the western side of Spokane, going down Highway 195. It's the most terrifying merge in all of Spokane, going from 195 onto 190. People are just coming straight down the hill from the airport as you're trying to merge on into the same lane, and it is never a good time. So one of the problems with that area is that the infrastructure is not built up for the demand and the growing population in the Latah Valley. So as of just this last Monday, there has been a 1-year ban on projects on undeveloped land in almost all of the Latah, Hangman Valley, and the Grandview Thorpe neighborhoods, approved by a 5-2 vote of our city council. So this moratorium is going to apply only to new development applications and not halt any projects that are in the pipeline. And so there's a few developments I have my eye on. I know Latah has about 3 that are coming into this Latah Valley. They have Meadow Lane Greens. They bought the property that the golf course used to be on. They're cramming in a little community in the trees over here at Tangle Ridge. And then they have an additional 3rd one coming in up in the Grandview neighborhood over in this area. And so Lennar is very bullish on the Latah Valley. They have 3 communities that they're planning to go in. And of course, the Summit by Haydn Homes is well underway and homes are actively selling in that area. So those are not going to be harmed. They're going to keep going because plans have already been submitted, the ground's been broken, and those houses are already being built. But anybody that has not put an application to build is not going to be able to continue that build for at least a year. So the biggest concern and why we've had so many second moratorium in 2 years is the infrastructure in the area is incredibly lagging to that growing population. It's straining roads and raising safety concerns for residents, especially because that area is at risk for fire. Like, it's very treed. There have been fires in between houses in the treed area, specifically close to the highway. There was one last year. And then obviously the gray fire was pretty far away, the one that happened in Medical Lake, but there was some concern that, I mean, if it got incredibly out of control, that it could make its way there. So that's what they're afraid of, is that there's only a temporary fire station at the bottom of Eagle Ridge. There isn't a full-blown fire station, and they don't have the money right now to build a full-blown fire station. But the people that are opposed to this believe that another pause on development in a quickly growing area would contribute to the ongoing housing crisis, and they worry that moratoriums will be coming in the future as well, because a year is not enough time to build the needed infrastructure to relieve the pressure. The other argument by Bingle was that it's going to cost over $50 million to put in the infrastructure needed, and we're facing a budget crisis right now, and we don't have the money to fix any of it within a year. So it's pretty unrealistic to think that a year is actually going to fix any of the problems. So a proposed way to solve this problem was to do something that happened in Kendall Yards, where they approved a tax increment financing project. And so basically the city financed the infrastructure in Kendall Yards, like sewers, streets, and water mains, and then used 75% of the future property taxes for 25 years to pay off those loans and to pay them back. So obviously Kendall Yards has been a major success. Maybe as far as I understand, the finances are just fine and it's being paid off just fine. The property taxes in that neighborhood have increased dramatically over the time that it's been around because the prices are so much. It's $1 million for a townhome in parts of Kendall Yards. But this would allow for them to build now and then pay it off over the coming decades with the property taxes from that neighborhood. So the property taxes would not go towards the rest of the city. They would just go solely to paying off that neighborhood's infrastructure. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in the Latah Valley, and if we're able to ever come up with a solution to make it easier to get in and out of the neighborhood. I know this summer there's some major road construction going on that is completely limiting people's ability to get in and out of the neighborhood. I have a picture and I'll put it up here on the screen, but basically you either drive an additional 30 minutes to connect to I-90 off of Cheney, or there's going to be a mile-long traffic at the entrance of Eagle Ridge onto 195, and there's limitations on which direction you can go. I know if you were just trying to go across the street to the Qualshan Golf Course, you'd have to drive 2 miles down the freeway, turn around at Hatch Road, and then drive all the way back up, which that's already kind of a congested intersection. So you really should probably go a few miles further down the road where it's less congested and make the turnaround there so that you're not dealing with all the cross traffic. So there's obvious demand to live in this area. It's a beautiful area. It's growing rapidly and there's a lot of development going on. So I feel like we have to find some way to continue building here because people want to build there. There's this land to build there, and it could be a really cool suburban area of Spokane with its own downtown core and stuff. We just got to get the funds and the agreement to make the development happen in that area. So since there's so much argument on building larger homes in these developed areas, and a lot of times it's people that live in more of these higher income, higher price point areas that have the biggest argument about new construction because they don't want people, because as they say in the article is that there's kind of a not in my backyard kind of argument going on right now. Well, there's some new zoning laws going in Spokane, or that have already gone into place, that basically allow a developer to build whatever the heck they want on a City of Spokane piece of land. So the big change is going to have to be how big of a home you expect to have when you purchase here in the Spokane area, because the new laws allow you to create a development where lot sizes are essentially as small as the houses that sit on them. Within a development, you could have houses that are as close together as you want and sell them as their own lot. So you could have 1,000 square foot lot with a, let's call it a 980 square foot home on that lot. And that, I just don't want to believe that there's going to be 1,000 square foot lot and 1,000 square foot home, but it is possible with this law right here. So this new law that was signed in at the beginning of the year is called the Unit Lot Subdivision Ordinance, and it allows a typical single-family residence property to be divided into as many lots as can fit with a few limitations. Now, this is coming on the back of the building opportunity for housing, and my biggest thing with this missing middle housing thing was that it was only building rental properties. There's tons of apartments going up in Spokane, and it wasn't actually helping people get into home ownership. And this is to help people get into home ownership. And I love that Spencer Gardner, our city planner, acknowledged that. He was like, the part that we did not address through BOCA, the Building Opportunity and Choices for All, was home ownership. We don't want to orient our market only toward rental properties, so our goal with the unit lot subdivision is to increase the opportunity for people to start building equity and own their homes. So now our unit lot subdivision is so flexible that he's not aware of another city whose codes are quite as flexible as ours. And they basically wanted to make it as easy for a builder to build a small house on small lots as possible. And so there's a company called Anchored Tiny Homes, who I actually had a meeting with early last week, and they're an ADU company. So they build additional dwelling units in your backyard primarily. So if you had additional space, you wanted a family member to live in your backyard, you wanted to build them a tiny home, this company specializes in doing that. And they have options all the way from like 240, they say in the article 348 square feet and they look a little bit more like a shed, a garage, all the way up to things that actually look like a decent home with a front porch and as big as like 1,200 square feet on the high end. This one's 1,000. They have 2-bed, 2-baths for 1,200 square feet. So check out their website to look at some of the options there. But Anchor Tiny Homes specializes in stick-built homes. And I met with them and they say that they want to be more like the greenstone of tiny homes. Like you can they have their floor plans that you pick from, but then you can pick your finishes. They have a whole selection of tiles, flooring, countertops, all that kind of stuff. And so the prices can fluctuate a little bit depending on how nice of finishes you want, but still incredibly affordable. But they specialize in stick-built homes with the foundation, 2x4 framing, all that kind of stuff. But the unit lot subdivision code does not discriminate against types of structures. So you can now start putting manufactured homes on City of Spokane lots and dividing them into smaller lots. Basically being able to take a City of Spokane lot, divide it into 6 other parcels and put 6 manufactured homes on them and then be able to sell them off individually tied down to their own land. That is now legal in the City of Spokane. So if you were to hire Anchored Tiny Homes to build a small development or build your own little house on a small piece of land, The all-in cost is about $75,000 on the low end for a 384 square foot studio unit, and then about $180,000 on the high end for a 2-bed, 2-bath. They do all the permitting, electrical, everything. And that's with upper to mid-level finishes and fixtures as well. So far, there's not a ton of people that are taking advantage of this in terms of building on land because it's so new. Only about 20% of the customers consisted of investors that wanted to buy these and rent them out, or developers wishing to actually build these tiny home communities. 80% were people that just kind of wanted to put a tiny home in their backyard. But it's going to take a few people to take a leap of faith and figure out how this thing works and the process, and probably teach some people down at the city hall and the county building and planning how this works, because nobody's done this before. So it's going to take some people that take a big risk, but I think there's going to be a huge reward for this, because the rules, there are just no rules. Like the old rules force developers to offer access to the street for each lot, and they're mandated a minimum lot size, which neither apply for this unit lot subdivision. So here's an example. At the very top of this, they have a street address for some land that this developer owns that he plans on doing this on. So I pulled it up here on the county website, and he didn't specify how many lots. So this is roughly a 1/4 acre lot. And so, I mean, if he's building, let's say 1,000 square foot homes or less, 900 square foot homes, everybody gets 1,100 square feet for their property size. He's going to fit 10 properties in this 1/4 acre parcel right here. And there's going to be just tiny home next to tiny home, all in this community. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I put 6. But I mean, even then, that would be 1,000 square feet, which would be allowed. He would be allowed to do that. So I mean, I'm very curious how these is going to shape up. I don't know if the houses are going to face in towards each other. Maybe this middle line would be a sidewalk, and it would exit out the side, and then you can see that would be maybe street parking right here next to it, because there's no minimum for no parking requirements or anything like that. So they don't actually have to be concerned about it if they don't want to. They probably will, just for people's enjoyment of the property. But basically, if you can find any vacant lot in the city of Spokane and put as many small structures on it as possible and try and sell it. And so he bought this for $130,000. I mean, let's say he puts 12 on there. It's roughly $11,000 per plot of land. You hire them to build you $120,000 tiny home on there. You're all in for $130,000. These things are probably going to sell for like $175,000 to $200,000 on the open market. So you still have, and there's no proof, don't quote me on that. There's no comps to support that or anything, but I have to imagine that a 2-bed, 1-bath brand new home would sell for in that range pretty easily. You're doing a great thing for the community, adding 12 housing units to the community. I think more and more people, as unfortunately as it is, people are having less and less children. They're living on their own. This is going to be pretty attractive for a lot of people. So you've just added 12 housing units to the market that people can own, start building equity in. Your profit margins are going to be pretty huge on this because you have so much opportunity to sell it, sell various products. So if you're somebody that owns a vacant city parcel in the city of Spokane, you don't know what to do with it, I would start reaching out to developers, anchored tiny homes, and see what they would pay for your property, because it probably just got a lot more valuable. If you're somebody looking for a great investment opportunity, I'd be sending mail to every single person that has a vacant city lot in the city of Spokane and looking at how to make this happen for yourself, because this is going to be really big here in the city of Spokane. So like I said, not what we were expecting in terms of building and development in Spokane. I think this is a huge turn, but it's going to be very interesting. It's going to allow for a lot of the flexibility. We're just talking about tiny homes here as an example, but there's so many examples out there. I mean, this rule basically, it just allows you to do whatever you want. You can subdivide a property however you need to. If you bought a property that has a single family home on it, you could build 2 additional ADUs on the property. Buy and split it up. So just depending on what you're looking for, this offers complete flexibility, not just tiny homes, but any size home on any size lot. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think this is exciting for the city of Spokane? Do you think it's harmful for the city of Spokane? I would love to have a conversation with you down below. If you're interested in buying a home like this, or you want to try and develop, reach out to me directly. I would love to partner with you, have a conversation with you, and see how I could help you out. Make sure to like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.